I was wondering, how could I make driving feel more interactive? Currently, most cars in Trailmakers are pretty straightforward with their controls, and it all feels very arcadey. But what if driving took a lot more skill? Now, I'm sure you've seen people add gears, and I'll admit, that's cool and all, but I want to get a little bit further than just that, dip my toes a little bit deeper. So I devised a way to make a completely manual car in Trailmakers, where in order to change gears, you actually have to move the stick in the correct slot and press down on the clutch. Not only that, but if you know anything about different gears, you also know that the higher gears aren't just faster, but stronger, and I'll explain what that means later, and I'm fully prepared to get that part right, at least to my ability. So, how do we start? Well, we can start by loading into a map, and I think I'm going to pick a racing map. Let's go to Race Island for this. And now that we're in, okay, let's choose a better spot. Let's go over to the drag race area. And from here, we'll fly all the way over here, and let's start. We need to come up with just a main idea. So first I want a controllable stick, so you can move it up and then you can move it left or right, and that will change what kind of gear you're in, if you're in reverse, all parking, brake, all of that. So let's get that started first. Okay, so we have a proof of concept right here. I'm in first person, so it doesn't really work. But essentially, still in first person, come on. Essentially what this does is that I can now, oh, I didn't add control. Well, I have control for the steering hinge, but so essentially I want to be able to move the piston back and forth, and as you can see, I've hooked it all up to these distance sensors, and essentially this allows us to, have the sensor detect an input and then output. I'm gonna have to do some logic in order to have it only activate one at a time, because right now it's activating two, and as you can see, I kind of want the steering hinge to point in the direction that I want it activated. So we're going to do some logic for that first. Okay, and I just finished doing something. Oh, I didn't add control for this. Okay, let me add control for the piston first. Boom, boom. Okay. And now we should be able to, it's only for the right side for now, but as you can see, it's no longer being activated when the hinge is not pointing towards it. And this is some pretty simple logic. Just have a OR gate go into all of these AND gates, and the distance sensor go into their each individual AND gate, and the AND gate will control the light panel and send in the output that this gear is activated right now. So pretty simple, and I'll just highlight it all so you can just see all the connections. Yeah. And after getting all of that down, we have this. So you're probably wondering, what is this? Well, this is kind of the finished project. I'll try to explain everything. So first of all, if I go over here, we have the same OR gate setup, but now we actually have an accumulator, and the accumulator controls all of these. Now, why do we have an accumulator? The accumulator will essentially check if it's pointed to the left or if it's pointed to the right, and this will go into the comparison gate. And the reason I do this is because I don't want the piston to move when the hinge is pointed to the left or the right. The piston should only be able to move when the hinge is in the middle. Now I haven't really been able to make a way to make the hinge go back to the center, especially with what I've done it now. So as you can see, it's pointed to the right. I now have to press this button twice, and because I don't know how to get the hinge to go back to the center, so I just have it light up to tell me that I can now move it, and now all I have to do is point it to the left, and now you see it's activating the number 2 again. So very simple logic. 2 OR gates, both of them go into this accumulator. This one sends a negative, this one sends a positive, and these two comparison gates, this will check if it's a negative one. So as you can see, minimum -1, maximum +1. If it's a -1, it will send this comparison checks if it's a I guess a negative number in the accumulator, and it will send a signal to all of the AND gates, who again require the signal from the logic gate 2, and that will activate the gear. And then this one checks for a positive number and will send it to all of these AND gates, who will check these gears. And these over here, this NOR gate goes into both of these AND gates, and these allow me to move it up and down. This will allow me to move it up and down, and they need two, so these go into the AND gates, and the AND gates will move me up and down. It says -0, and then, not -0, -0.25, 0.25, and then this or NOR gate. And when this detects anything, when this detects a -1, or whenever these detect anything that's not a 0, it will send to the NOR gate. The NOR gate will turn off. These AND gates only have one input, and you can no longer move the piston. For example, it's pointing to the right. I can no longer, as you can see these, the OR gates activating because I'm giving them an input, but it's no longer moving the piston. So the piston is now stuck in place. This is probably going to be how it works. For a second gear, we'll have a propeller and one of these engines. For first gear, we'll have a dragon engine at 50%. And for fourth gear, we'll have, I think, let's go 4 of these engines, because it's going to use this engine. That's kind of what I want. I want first gear is going to exclusively use this engine and only first gear. Second gear is going to use this engine, which is going to be carried on to here, so I'll paint them both up just so you can tell. So second gear will use this engine, and third gear will also share that engine, but second gear will also have the propeller, and then third engine will just have more raw engines. So first, second will have higher acceleration and generally more power to go uphill, but the final gear, third gear, will have just more speed, if you get what I'm saying. So that's how we're going to try and simulate torque. I don't know, you can't really do it otherwise. You could use other propellers. I guess that could be one way of simulating torque, but I don't need more than one propeller. But before we start adding engines, we need to add our gears, and we have them now. So we have this OR gate. So what I've added is this OR gate, and you have these 3 AND gates. And by the way, I removed fourth gear because the way it had set up, the distance sensor was always activated by this little nub right here, so we can't add fourth gear. These are all the gears we can add. So all of these AND gates now actually go to these AND gates, which will control the whatchamacallit, and these will control the actual engines. And for the record, if you've realized, there is no S key, and that is for a reason. Reverse on an actual car, there's no reverse button, you know, there's only the accelerator, the clutch, the brake, and the gear shift. So in order to reverse, you need to put it into the reverse gear and then accelerate pressing W. There probably is going to be an S key though. I'm probably going to use it as the brake. So later on I'll add like 3 different pedals here, one for accelerate, one the clutch, which is going to be completely visual, and one for S. And I'm going to make it probably so you have to press the clutch and S to brake. Or, you know, you could just use... Okay, now we're adding all of the engines, and as you can see, we've added reverse and brake, or parking. I really gotta stop saying brake. So all of them go into, they're all different things. Parking doesn't actually go into anywhere right now. Neither does reverse, but as you can see, we have third gear goes into just one. Oopsies, that shouldn't be the case. Second gear goes into those 2, and I have it wired all messed up. Okay, you should go into that and that, and you should go into this, this, and this. Okay. And you should not go into here. Did I? Oh, I just copied and pasted it, that's why. So, as you can see, you go into the dragon engine, you go into these 2, and you go into these 3, and I'm gonna add one more in the future. So once I press, if I go to, and let's try now. We're going to, oh yeah, I forgot. I added one more thing. You now have to press left control in order to, oopsie, I messed up the camera. You now have to press left control in order to move this. So I basically, in order to do that, I just did the same thing. You have this NOR gate, and that goes into these 2 AND gates as well. And once I stop pressing, it's no longer going into the AND gates. Oh wait, no, sorry. The NOR gates, it goes into this NOR gate, which goes into these. And once I press, no wait, because it's eternally on, it's turning off this OR gate, which is no longer sending a signal to these. So once I turn this on, it's no longer sending an input to turn this off, which is now sending an input here, allowing it to move. So now I need to press left control in order to move this, and once I stop pressing control, it locks. And I can still move this. So now we're in second gear, and I press W, and now see it works. Okay, so I've essentially kind of packed everything up just to make sure it works. I did not add turning, and I put all, and then you can see that I added pedals, but they're all on A and D. But essentially, this is just the same thing as before, and this is just a better way of seeing if it works. So we're going to go into first gear, and press W. Okay, we're going around 40 miles per hour. Now we're in second gear. Okay, and we should be able to grow in speed, and I'm about to crash. Okay. Let's see the acceleration in first gear. Okay. We go to 40 pretty quickly. Now we need to take it off first gear, move it to second gear, and we go to 40 a lot slower, but we're going to be able to have a higher top speed. Okay, so you might be wondering, what the hell is happening? And I'll tell you. So, essentially, what I was having trouble with is that the accelerator, I just had to press, W, and I went forward. But if you remember on an actual car, there is no button that just makes you go forward like that. You have the accelerator pedal. The accelerator pedal you can hold down at varying levels to keep a varying level of speed. So essentially, I've been trying to add that, and as you can see, I'm there, and it's taken a long time. So we now have a brake. Wait, we don't have a brake. I didn't add the brake yet. We have a reverse, and it just sends a negative output into the raw engine. Pretty simple. Now, what is all of this? Okay, so I'll tell you. The accumulator goes into all of the gears, like before. The gears each go into their own aggregate block. Essentially what is happening here is the accumulator is replaced the OR gate with the W. And it also has S as a means to, step back. So now S is an actual control to slow down, but not to go backwards. You still need to go in reverse gear to go backwards. So it now has a scale of 0.10, maximum 0.5, minimum 0. We'll explain first gear first. So this goes into the aggregate block, which has product, and it will multiply that with 1, and this will go into a number display. Yeah, that's all. No, it will go into the engine. This will go into the engine. And so essentially what this is doing is multiplying 1 and 0.10 and sending it at, and remember that this needs to have a maximum of 50%, which is why we have all of these extra stuff. Because this has a maximum of 50%, the way I've chosen to do it is just add a maximum of 50% and then multiply this by 1. So we have, it's pretty normal. It stays normal because we need an AND gate to do all of this, and an AND gate with an accumulator. This is just how I decided to do it, because I wanted an accumulator to control the variable speed. That goes into the AND, that needs to go into an AND gate. There's no way to, I don't know, turn this into an AND gate, so this is the process I came up with. For the other ones, they work pretty much the same. It multiplies 0.1 and oopsies. It will multiply whatever is in here with 1. You get the product, and then it will just multiply it by 2 to make sure you have that normal level. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm finished. I have the parking done, reverse done, and by the way, this is neutral, but I can't really figure out a way to do neutral other than turning auto brake off, so it's kind of useless, but it's there to fill up space, and that's really it. And other than that, it's actually pretty much the same vehicle as before, but again, I added parking with this in the same way I did the brakes. So yes, that's pretty much it, and we can now start building this thing. This is what I built. It looks incredibly ugly because I didn't want to build it. And wait, what? Wait, what? How can... Huh? Oh my god. Oh my god, I didn't... What? I thought I removed control from you. Why do you still have control? It's been like an hour. I've been looking at logic, I've been checking where everything is going, making sure everything is sending the right inputs and outputs, and I finally go and check. I forgot to get rid of one of the controls because I just copied and pasted it across. I don't know why I kept the control though. Okay, so something strange happened. I just saved it again, and look at all of this. Like, all of these now have controls. I don't know why this is happening. They shouldn't have controls. Nothing should have controls. Yeah, all the engines now have controls, which is super weird. That's not how they were before. I just got rid of all your controls. Okay, please. I have to go and look through every single engine. I also, by the way, I added more Bulldog engines to increase the power of the brakes. Yup, you have controls. Let me guess, the fan probably has control. Yeah, the fan has controls now. I don't know why any of this happened. Oh, wait, did I? Yup, the piston also reset controls. That's funny. Okay, there we go. Piston should now be... Okay, piston is now working. And piston is now working as usual. Okay, so we're going to go to first gear. Push on the accelerator. We're going to turn to the right. Deaccelerate, and we're going to move. Okay, that's annoying. We're going to move. Press the clutch. And I want to immediately go to third gear. Let's see how this works out. I want to see how much speed we can pick up before we hit the end. And I try to make a little speed sensor, but I kind of forgot how they worked. So we'll just have it at 0 for now. We're going to be picking up speed. Only 38, only 30, oh wait, here we go. Go into first gear. I want to see the top speed of all gears. So we're in first gear right now. Push the accelerator, and look at us go. We're already at 38, 39, and we're at 40, and we're at 39 miles per hour. So pretty fast. I'm going to reset. We're going to change the gear now to second gear. Okay, and let's try it. We're going to push the accelerator. And we're going to accelerate a bit slower, but now we're picking up speed. Look at this. 59, 60, 62, 60, 70, 78, 80, 82, 85, 86, 88, 89. And by the way, I added a few more engines because I thought the entire car was going a bit too slow. But I think our max is 97. That's pretty nice for second gear, which is kind of unrealistic for second gear, but I don't care. Okay, so second gear, I just removed some of second gear's power, so let's see, it's new. Let me check. Okay. I don't think... Yeah, there we go. Let's check second gear's new top speed and acceleration. So, still a little bit slower than first gear, but we're going. It takes us around 7 seconds to reach 50. Now we're picking up speed. And we're reaching 80, 82, 85, 87. We're about to reach 90. Okay, so we barely reached 90. That's good to know. Let's just restart for third gear, finally. Okay, we're at third gear. Push on the accelerator. It takes us around 10 seconds to reach 50. We're at 92. Come on, we're so close to 100. Let's try to reach 100 in this hunk of junk. 98. 99? Oh, I think 98 might be our top speed. So, that's pretty much it. I love this, honestly. Oh, and I never got to show reverse gear. So, reverse gear, it just uses, I think, yeah, here we go. We're now going in reverse. I know, what am I doing? I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. Okay. There we go. I was pressing the wrong button. I was trying to change to first gear. And again, you can change it to second already, just in reverse. And because we already have the accelerator on, boom, look at that. And then we can just change to neutral. Neutral doesn't stop us at all. Neutral actually doesn't even have auto brake on, so Look at that. We're gonna try quick switch it, okay? And by the way, don't do this in real life. This will blow up your car. If you're lucky, this will blow up your car. But we're gonna switch from third to first. Am I even activating first right now? I may have actually missed it. I missed it! Wow, I put it right in between. There is a way to do pistons at percentages, but I don't know. There we go. Immediately. Oh, don't try to do that. I still think this is just really cool. I'm probably gonna try racing this. That would be crazy. Trying to race with this might be a little too much, because I probably have to turn the steering down. Steering is a bit much right now. Yeah, I just have it on default 30, so change that to 20. So maybe expect a little race with this. But for now, let us end the video by a fade to black.